Every culture on Earth has a story about a giant. Norse mythology, Greek legends, ancient Mesopotamian texts. But only one culture has a story about a boy who walked toward the giant alone with 5 smooth stones and changed the course of history. This is not a fairy tale. This is a battle that archaeologists have dated, that historians have studied, that military strategists have analyzed for centuries. And the conclusion always surprises people. The giant never had a chance.
My strength and Nash!
The most terrifying man alive. Goliath of Gath. The Bible gives us his height, 6 cubits and a span. That is 2.9 meters tall, 9 feet 6 inches. For 40 days, every morning and every evening, he walked into the valley between the 2 armies and shouted the same challenge. Choose a man. Send him to fight me. If he kills me, we will be your servants. If I kill him, you will be our servants. I defy the armies of Israel this day. Give me a man that we may fight together. 40 days, twice a day, 80 challenges. Not one Israelite moved. His armor alone was extraordinary. His coat of mail, 5,000 shekels of bronze. That is 57 kilograms of armor, just on his chest. His spear, its iron tip alone, weighed 600 shekels, 6.8 kilograms, just the tip. He had a shield bearer who walked before him. He was not just big, he was a weapons system, designed and trained to be unstoppable. The Philistines knew what they had. They knew no one in Israel could match him, and they were right, almost. But here is what most people miss. Military historians who study this battle point out something fascinating about Goliath's challenge. Single combat was a recognized military tradition in the ancient world. One champion fights another, the losing army surrenders. It avoided mass casualties. Goliath was so confident, so certain of his size, that he proposed a system that should have been completely in his favor. He assumed the battle would be decided by size. He had never considered that the battle could be decided by something else entirely. The one nobody expected. David was the youngest of 8 brothers. His job was watching sheep, not fighting wars. His 3 oldest brothers were in Saul's army. His father Jesse sent David to the battlefield, not to fight, but to bring his brothers food, and to bring back a report. He was a delivery boy. When David arrived at the camp, he heard Goliath's challenge. He heard the Israelite soldiers running away in terror, and he asked, in a way that immediately irritated his older brothers, "What will be done for the man who kills this Philistine and removes this disgrace from Israel? Who is this uncircumcised Philistine that he should defy the armies of the living God?" His older brother Eliab was furious. "Why have you come down here? Who did you leave those few sheep with? I know how conceited you are and how wicked your heart is. You came down just to watch the battle." David answered, "Now what have I done? Can't I even speak?" and turned away and kept asking. This detail matters. The person who defeats the giant was dismissed by his own family before the battle began. The people closest to you are sometimes the least able to see what God has put in you. David was brought to King Saul. Saul looked at him and said, "You are not able to go out against this Philistine and fight him. You are only a young man, and he has been a warrior from his youth." David's response is one of the most remarkable pieces of confidence in all of Scripture. Your servant has been keeping his father's sheep. When a lion or a bear came and carried off a sheep from the flock, I went after it, struck it, and rescued the sheep. When it turned on me, I seized it by its hair, struck it, and killed it. Your servant has killed both the lion and the bear. This uncircumcised Philistine will be like one of them. 5 smooth stones. Saul tried to dress David in his own armor: bronze helmet, coat of armor, sword. David put it all on, tried to walk, and said, "I cannot go in these, because I am not used to them." He took them off. This is the moment most people miss. He was offered the best protection available, the king's own armor. He refused it, not because it was bad armor, because it was not his. And fighting in someone else's armor, in someone else's way, in someone else's strength, was not how God had trained him. He took his staff, his sling, and went to the stream, and chose 5 smooth stones. Military historians have noted something interesting. Why 5? Goliath had 4 brothers, also giant warriors. David was not planning for one fight. He was planning for 5. He was not going out there hoping to survive. He was going out there expecting to win, completely, against all of them, if necessary. Now here is what the military analysts find most fascinating. A trained slinger in the ancient world was not a weak fighter. Slingers were precision weapons. Trained slingers could hit a target the size of a human head at distances of up to 200 meters. And the projectile speed, approximately 150 kilometers per hour, comparable to a modern low-caliber bullet. Goliath had never fought a slinger. He saw a boy with a stick. He expected a sword fight. He was completely unprepared for what was coming. The moment everything changed. Goliath saw David coming and was insulted. "Am I a dog that you come at me with sticks?" He cursed David by his gods and said, "Come here, and I'll give your flesh to the birds and the wild animals." The greatest warrior alive was mocking a shepherd boy. David answered, and his words have echoed for 3,000 years. "You come against me with sword and spear and javelin, but I come against you in the name of the Lord Almighty, the God of the armies of Israel, whom you have defied." David continued, "This day the Lord will deliver you into my hands, and I'll strike you down and cut off your head. This very day I will give the carcasses of the Philistine army to the birds and the wild animals, and the whole world will know that there is a God in Israel. All those gathered here will know that it is not by sword or spear that the Lord saves, for the battle is the Lord's, and he will give all of you into our hands." Then David ran toward Goliath, not away, toward. He reached into his bag, took out a stone, slung it, and struck Goliath on the forehead. The stone sank into his forehead, and he fell face down on the ground. David ran to Goliath, stood over him, took Goliath's own sword. David had no sword, and cut off his head. When the Philistines saw that their hero was dead, they turned and ran. The Israelites, who had been hiding for 40 days, rose with a shout and pursued them. The battle that was supposed to end with Israel's surrender ended with Israel's victory because of one boy who ran toward the giant everyone else was running from. What this battle actually was. Archaeologists have found Gath, Goliath city, in modern Israel. Tel Es-Safi. Excavations have found evidence of a massive city from exactly this period, including pottery fragments with Philistine names, one of which sounds remarkably like the name Goliath. The ancient world remembered this battle because it happened. But here is the deeper truth about this battle. David did not win because he was brave. He won because he saw the battle differently. Every Israelite soldier looked at Goliath and thought, "He is too big to fight." David looked at Goliath and thought, "He is too big to miss." Same giant, different perspective. The size of your giant depends entirely on the size of your God. The valley between the two armies was called the Valley of Elah. It still exists today. In modern Israel, you can walk there. You can pick up smooth stones from the same stream David used. Tourists do it every day. Standing in that valley, looking at the two hills, imagining the silence of 40 days, and then, one boy, running forward, changes something in you. Because most of us have a valley. Most of us have a giant we have been staring at for 40 days. The question is not whether the giant is real. The question is,